from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan. It's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. Welcome, everybody, to a special Friday night edition of Voice Acting. I am the Cannonball. That is the Cannon, a.k.a. the Package. And we're so happy to bring this to you tonight. Really excited. I know we had to skip on Wednesday because we were visiting with an old friend of ours. But you know what? If we felt like it would be remiss if we went a week and we did not produce some top quality voice acting content from the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Package, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Cannonball?
You call me whatever you want. Call me bro.
Yeah.
But listen, it's great. The weather's turning. It's a beautiful thing. And tomorrow is supposed to be tremendous. So I'm gonna be out on the beach with a big cooler of beer. That's my ambition, to grab a cooler and grab a couple beers and just hang out on the beach.
Boy, I wish I were in your position tomorrow, because I'll tell you what, I'm a busy man every weekend.
Hey, listen, I'm proud of you for it too.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So for protecting our country against all threats, mostly domestic, some foreign. So, all right. Well, I don't want to spend too much time dinking around here, but we do have to do tradition. So
yes, of course.
Obviously, grab your favorite crack or grab your favorite beverage. If you have a top tier cap, if you want to screw it off, or if you have a pin, go ahead and pull that pin back. Hey, Package, what time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, mate. Here's
stereo hiccups. I love it. Okay. Again.
Now, as I was saying, here's a little something different. Mm-hmm. Now, normally, the Cannonball, my brother here, is in charge of the controls. Guess what's different? It's gonna be my turn.
Yeah, you know what? We figured I'm always the one controlling the action. Why don't we have him do it tonight and see how that works?
Yeah, let's.
Of course, I'm gonna have to remember to whip him into shape, because he might be like, "Bro, don't you press the button? It's your turn to press the button."
Well, yeah, I know. You got to keep your eyes open, because you never know when your part's gonna come up.
I'm sure. I mean, I've played through this before. Although I will tell you this. I don't quite remember what happens during the investigation, so I think this will be fun.
Yeah,
and the trial itself is. I'm looking forward to it too. So let's go ahead and fire this up. Live scene, please. Blinds, please.
And give us some feedback. Volume too loud. Voice is good. Whatever the case may be. Feel free to leave a comment on the book face, the tube, you, whatever.
Okay.
No more digging around. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, this actually frees me up to do a whole bunch of reconnaissance, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. So I
can respond to comments. I can do all kinds of stuff.
And I want to let you know that I actually put it as you. So yeah, there we go.
Well, of course. I mean, that's where all the data is.
Yep, that's where all the data is. Auto-save feature. And listen to that music, folks.
Uh-huh.
And this is where, you see this prison? This is where we last left off our gallant heroes. Yep. Gina Lestrade has recently signed the representation papers on Ruynoske's behalf, and she is now confident that Ruynoske will believe in her and defend her to the bitter end. And and that leaves them wide open for investigation. So without further ado, let's go get it. Load the game. It's time to continue the adventure of the unspeakable story.
Let's get it.
Good news. The check cleared. It's go time. All right,
here we go.
Now let's see what we got here. Here we are. 16th of April, 1:26 p.m., Windibank's Pawnbrokery.
Mm-hmm. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please?
What is it now? You should go home and get some rest.
Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship. How? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabouche to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is.
I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Here we go. Lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes. I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship.
Would it be all right if we investigated the scene of the crime then?
Do you please? You know what had happened? Through that door behind the counter.
Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank. And Gina.
Right. Well, I'll be getting back to business then.
Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector?
If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently.
That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before.
Far more serious matters.
Indeed.
You don't mean. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
Come then, let us not waste any time. What are we waiting for? Let's go investigate.
All right, I'll let. Okay, yep. I mean, you're the one driving the boat here. I'll let you figure it out too.
That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Runo?
Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan.
Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen?
Gonna be a little difficult since I'm.
Okay, so you want to switch?
Let's switch.
Okay.
All right, he's got the controls.
We tried this out. It didn't work out too well.
What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's see. Let's try to see if I can talk to him. Police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it.
Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts.
Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely.
We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifted through all in shifts at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we'll barely have scratched the surface.
A crime and a pawnbrokers. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare.
It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know, a crime and a pawnbrokers.
All right. Okay, so let's see. What do we got? Okay, now look at this. What's that? Ugh. Ah, look here.
Oh yes, a bullet hole. And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall.
Presumably, Mr. Windibank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time.
Ah, well, Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that.
Sorry?
It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris?
Huh, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps?
In jest?
Well, he doesn't do it often. It's quite a dangerous pastime.
He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once.
Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine his bullet.
Oops, sorry.
What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? Uh-oh. A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Aha! I may well be able to help with that.
What?
There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo?
I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris.
I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold.
There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types.
Yes, what a scientific observation.
So you need this.
Oh no, what is that scary-looking thing?
Ellie and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet, but as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch!
Oh! Oh! The color of the bloodstain has changed!
There! Does it make sense now?
Yes, I think I'm starting to understand.
Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see.
Yes, how wonderful!
The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color, so you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at, in a flash.
Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris!
Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great.
So, whose blood are we looking at then?
Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so just find someone whose blood turns the same color, and you'll know who it belongs to, in a flash.
It's more like two flashes, really, isn't it?
One flash or two, this could well turn out to be a very valuable clue, so we must make a note of it in the court record.
The blood sample has been entered into the court
A
record.
sample of blood analyzes the special chemical indicator developed by Mr. Sholmes. Different people's blood turns different colors. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio.
As long as I have reagent left, sure.
Reagent.
Yeah, reagent.
As long as I have reagent left, sure.
Okay, I
That
fixed it.
reminds me, actually, I want to play that one game again. Crime and Punishment, I believe it is.
Oh yeah?
It's
What's
nice.
that? You see that music box on the shelf? Look at that.
Are we talking about this one or that one?
This one right here.
These shelves are where the pawnbroker puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy.
Yes, it's a really strange miscellany, is it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example?
Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know. Are you alright, Runo?
Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue.
That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever.
Alright, let's see here. I've got an idea.
Yeah.
I want to see... Oh, we don't have the disc, do we?
No.
Son of a bitch. Okay, well, anyway. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I can get it closed again.
Oh, yes. That's a folding stereoscope.
Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used the great big contraption over there.
Ah, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself.
I wonder if I could make money out of these in Japan. Would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. always with washing the toilet with that guy.
What about that other device?
What?
That
The big one?
Yeah, this one right here.
Okay. This is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think. When Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday, we were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen.
Okay, now get to the desk.
Right, let's take a look here. All right.
What the?
There's the article ledger here, and Mr. Windibank's notes, and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind.
Oh, look on the back. There's some writing.
Is there? Ooh, show us, Susie, show us.
Oh boy. And there's a blood stain.
15th February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th of April, 10:30 p.m.
Gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think...
Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday.
and is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though.
It seems Mr. Windibank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have to hand.
But this photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture somewhere else recently.
Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier.
Of course! I was forgetting that she gave us that print.
Well, what are you waiting for there, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out!
Right, all right. Let the cogs turn.
Yes, they are exactly the same.
No, they're not.
Okay. Can you find the difference?
I can barely. Barely.
I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret.
A secret? What does she mean?
You must tell us, Iris, at once!
Do you really want to know?
Well, let's...
Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. All right.
Well, talk to her. Here are photographs.
So, Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Windibank's counter, and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints?
Actually, that's not quite right.
Sorry?
If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
They're not?
Have a look at them now.
All right, let's see what you got. Oh, wait a minute. Is that... Wait.
Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other?
Real quick, I'm crossing my eyes. It pops out. Okay. I think so. It's very subtle, though.
But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints?
Ah, well, it's because they're a set, you see.
No, I don't.
This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment.
Ah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? Just a couple seconds ago, really.
Yeah. Oh, yes! That's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. You see? There it is, just over there.
Ah, yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions.
What? Really?
You know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene.
I, for one, simply have to know.
All
Well,
right, how do we do this? Okay.
How stereoscopic prints work.
Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us?
Well, I just open them, and it works.
but the reason it works is because we have 2 eyes.
2 eyes. Shocking.
If you try close just 1 eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, and what you see with your right eye are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye.
Yes, the position of objects seem to shift slightly.
Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the 2 views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see.
My brain really is amazing, isn't it? Does so much without telling me.
Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consists of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right?
Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick.
So, if you could persuade your brain to merge the 2 pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints?
Yes, Runo. You're beginning to understand.
And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that?
Yes, but as long as you have 2 images, 2 eyes, and 1 brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
You can? Really?
And how to view stereoscope with prints.
It's pretty...
Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope.
Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go.
Sato-san really loves this kind of thing.
You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that?
Alright.
Cross my eyes. I think I can.
Watch me and see if you can copy. Make your eyes do this.
Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? There, how's that?
Wonderful. Now it's your turn, Runo.
The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose, both eyes at the same time.
Not exactly an easy task when 2 people are staring at you cross-eyed.
Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print and slowly closing your eyes. You should see 2 overlapping images like this. You try it now, Runo.
Just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose.
Did the print slips into 2 images for you? Now the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then try crossing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together until you form a new single image in the center.
Oh yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now! Looks so real! Oh, I could look at it all day!
I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Runo. Pretend you're looking through the 2 pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the 2 images overlap exactly in the middle.
Like this, is it?
There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work.
Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary.
So, what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo?
Certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly.
No, some people find it easier than others. Well, that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky.
Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, Then set the pair of photographs in this stand at the back and...
It's still amazing, even though I know it. It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these phony contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently.
But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them.
But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case.
Stereoscopic pictures. I'd never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge I'll ever actually need. Second white cat photograph has been entered into the court record.
A full photograph depicting a sweet little white cat. It feels as though I've print just like this one. Okay.
Well, there we go. So we're done conversing.
I think
here.
we're going to examine.
Can we? Let me present. Can we present the other? Okay. Look at this blood stain.
Mr. Naruto, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here.
I have noticed.
The red smear, you mean...
Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wondered if Sasana-san had picked up on that. Well, in that case,
Yes, we need Iris.
we should show this to her before we forget.
Oh.
This information has been updated into the court record.
Aha. There
So,
we
yep.
go. Now we can present that pawnbroker's ticket and code.
Oh, that looks like blood.
I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather.
Well, don't worry, Runo. You can leave the rest to me. Fire!
Look at that!
Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it?
We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue.
Oh, you have no idea.
Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point.
You'll find out.
Tune in. Buckle up, boneheads.
Well, this particular stain of blood.
Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is?
I think I do. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the color it turned, but with a little deduction.
That's right. I think it's clear.
Iris, you know as well?
You first, Runo. Who do you think it belongs to?
All right, I believe that this is the blood of Thrice Fired Mason.
You sure?
Thrice Fired Mason?
You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there.
Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. Of course, I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice fired, though.
The victim of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice Fired Mason. But that would mean that this blood stain was left on the ticket 2 months ago.
Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windibank's yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time.
So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago.
Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night.
Oh boy.
Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleed from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
It certainly does look like a leather-gloved thumbprint, this mark. But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason.
Mr. Naruto, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes.
Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope.
Yes, I think you're right, Runo.
Very well. Let's make a note of this.
The details of the pawnbroker's ticket for the coat have been updated in the court record.
That's right.
Oh, man. Blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record.
Dude,
Oh, my God.
that ain't the
half of it, Jack.
All right.
That ain't the half of it, Jack Wagons.
That's right, boys. Well,
Let's get a
what
look
else
at
can we
this.
look at?
That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? It must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn.
It's too much to think about, but it's sell it all and have a clear head if you ask me.
But clearly, Mr. Windibank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care.
Now let's check that door.
Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Greggy said.
Beg pardon.
Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. Mr. Windibank, face down on the floor, with Gina beside him.
As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruto. We must make a thorough investigation.
Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door. That's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry, if there are clues in there, I'll find them.
All right, well, let's go. Let's get in there. Da-da-da-da-da-da! Charge!
Windibank storeroom. So here we are, 16th of April, Windibank's storeroom. You notice
Okay.
the dead body there and that blood stain down
Yep,
there?
so we'll
Yikes,
definitely
dude.
check that out.
Yep.
Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely.
Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windibank's life was taken in this very room only last night. Uh-oh.
Wait, Inspector!
What is it now, Sunshine?
You took one look at me and tried to run away.
You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some chucked-up little defence lawyer, do you? I just... Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before this thing. I didn't know what to say to her.
So you weren't running away from me. You were running away from a 10-year-old.
I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector. Eh? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? Oh,
God.
my God.
I don't think that went very well.
Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigating to do ourselves.
Yes. I'd like to hear more what the socially inept inspector has to say.
Well, talk to him.
Oh, Hurley.
And inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going.
Yeah, let's grill him.
All right, and
Lord, we apologize.
don't
No need
apologize to me. Let's take a look around first. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line.
Poor Mr. Windibank. He was a nice old man.
Well, he was shot just once through the hat. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing.
This must be his blood then.
I don't like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps...
Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action. Fire!
There it is. So, now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Windibank's blood.
And it doesn't match our analysis of the blood stain we found in the main shop.
No, well, let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway.
The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record.
Add as much blood as possible.
Look at this. This is a revolver. A real one.
And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windibank's life.
I'm not sure about that, but let's see.
What's the matter, Susie? You and Runo look like you're about to faint.
Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh.
And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windibank with this yesterday, didn't we?
I should have to take my own life.
It must be the same gun. Last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, that was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand.
Mr. Windibank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he?
Well, it's empty now. More than only bullet he had in his gun has been fired.
So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver.
Alright, well...
What else is there?
Mm,
Iris?
Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit.
Yes, absolutely! Well, what have we waited for?
Alright, let's look in this box. What's in there? Out of all the articles in this storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. What is it, Iris?
That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in.
Oh!
Iris's unpublished story. The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Uh-oh.
Surely that's not what all this...
Sorry, Iris. If you ask me, he sold it without telling you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We must check inside the box at once!
Yes,
Ah! It was there! Iris's story was there!
Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris?
yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited hair, but still, it's a relief to actually see it.
Really? It's not a very well hidden frown. Iris's manuscript has been entered into the court record.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, now, wait a minute.
I'm going to look at it real quick. The Hound of the Baskervilles. How did Susato-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? Suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me.
I'm so sorry.
Is there anything here? No,
No,
nothing. All right. All right. So then, okay. What's this? The bicycle. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them.
I can't believe how many there are.
A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings. Look!
Pieces of different people's lives quietly gathering dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policeman shuffling around.
Not much I can do about that, Sunshine. Alright,
Well, let's talk to this guy then.
Yeah, let's talk to him. The scene of the crime.
So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here?
Sure. You got eyes, haven't you? Use them. It's what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less.
Iris, could you lend me a hand?
So, Grexy, what do you make of the crime scene here?
Oh, yes, your ladyship. Do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only thought was this store was found locked from the inside.
So it was locked from the inside.
The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, ma'am. Quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as humbly as possible. Oh, as you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thus ways. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutted child.
Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector.
Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world.
She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious.
And I'm afraid to say, she had the gun that was used in her hand.
No!
Presumably, it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now.
In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well.
What? The key to this storeroom?
What? And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves the ladyship's friend. In something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding.
Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is.
Soames operation.
Oh, boy.
Grexy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he?
Oh, well, the thing is, don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Soames is... No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well... Out with it!
She's ready.
Yes, Mom. They use something called the general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive.
The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible?
It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we could just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. Trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for them to nod off, or hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my! No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in the system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes round again.
Hurley?
How many of his eyes, your ladyship? I swear this shall get one to you.
What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Soames has to do things his way.
That's about it. What does story mode suggest?
Oh, all right. Okay, I guess we're presenting something.
This.
Inspector, what do you make of this?
Oh, what have we have here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone went down the office station and wrote the ticket on whatever paper is to hand. Yes, this is the ticket from McGilden's overcoat. The one that little David turned up with yesterday.
Oh, actually, no, it's not.
Really? Think you know better than me, do you?
No, I didn't mean to,
Runo's right, Craigsy. It isn't the same ticket.
Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about then, if I might be so bold as to ask?
This is a second ticket.
The second one?
seems that Mr. McGilden in fact had another article in storage here at Windibank's.
Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruto.
Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to.
My ass. My ass.
Well, only when Iris is around. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilden's overcoat.
You mean to tell me?
Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems.
They should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilden deposited another article here with Mr. Windibank. Yes, I can see it right in here. A small box, was it?
Do you have any idea where it is, Craigsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belongs to Mr. McGilden. It could be an important clue.
Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's all too much pressure. I'll lose my marbles, I will. I'll go back in.
This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector.
That's enough sauce from the air, sunshine. Ugh. Now there's one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
Oh yes, of course. Articles are only here for 2 months.
So the small box will no longer be in here then? That's right. It's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop where the forfeited items are offered for sale.
Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once.
You're wasting your time. Oh, there are dozens of little boxes out there. Hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilden's. That information is not written in the ledger.
Ugh.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course, your ladyship. Of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure.
This is getting old.
Well, it looks like we're back at the shop.
Dong, dong, uh-oh.
Ah! I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Windibank set such a wicked trap?
I doubt he set out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh?
Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind.
Don't you remember, Runo? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes.
You did.
The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we'd better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again.
What are we waiting for? Da-da-da-da-da. Charge! 16th of April, 5:41 p.m. Local prison, cell number 13. Okay.
Ah, Gina, good. You're back.
Ah!
The police must have finished questioning her then.
Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful?
Hey,
Oh, it didn't bother me.
thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windibank's.
Oh, right.
Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy.
What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, and I did it.
That's not...
Gina, we came to ask for your final decision
Hey, what decision?
about tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you.
Right, I see.
Hold the phone, folks. Got Ryan! Yay!
Thanks so much for liking the stream, my man. So I'll tell you what, I bet you if we wait patiently, we might see some stuff.
Yep.
Okay. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear.
Well, let's talk to her.
Let's talk to her.
What we've uncovered.
All right then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it?
Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say.
We don't know yet, Gina, but Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is,
Oh, I bet it's hard to handle.
Jesus Christ, it starts. There are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish. That's why Iris is giving her the... Okay, no, dude, no. She's 10 years old. Back off.
Pump the brakes, kid.
Pump the brakes, Scott. I do not want to get canceled. There are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I now know why you broke into Windibank that night. Looks like I'm gonna have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason and thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. Well, so I'm gonna do it. We found this in Mr. Windibank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story.
Ah! Oh, right. Well, that's good then.
Curiously, the storeroom at Windibank showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like, with one exception: the box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night?
Hey!
You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it?
Ah!
Why don't you tell us what happened? Please! We'll do Iris's manuscript next, because representation in court is should be the last one.
Alright, yeah. This Baskerville story. It's the latest show's adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured, gotta be worth a fair few... It's gotta be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right?
Oh, yes. At least 5,000 pounds.
What?
How the hell does she know that?
Oh.
So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No. Jenny, how could you?
What? What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I wasn't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the mental script, or whatever you call it, was there or not. That's the only reason I was in the place.
Hold the thought, folks.
Wait, a 10-year-old attorney? I'm so confused. The fuck is she, Doogie Howser? Okay, listen up. Iris isn't necessarily an attorney, but she's a scientific assistant. So Iris is the 10-year-old roommate of Herlock Sholmes, and I guess Herlock Sholmes found her when she was a baby, and her mother died. And I mean, there's more to the story, but she's a child genius, a prodigy. So there you go. So I don't know about Doogie Howser.
For Iris's sake, isn't that right?
We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did.
But
I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it.
well,
When I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you'd said the night before.
grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bare-faced liars, the lot of them. You just don't realize it yet. I'm telling you, that mental script ain't at Windibank's. You'd soon see if you had a look.
If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean, that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you.
Alright. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris.
Alright, spill the beans, lady. Why did you break in?
Weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all.
Hold the phone for a sec. I know it's just a voice enhancer, but it really sounds like Andrew's just sucking helium. Just imagine with a ton of...
I don't know if that would help out, though. I mean...
You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest? If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windibank's?
It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got a dad, only she can't see him. I reckon it's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last night, when I was listening to what you were saying.
Stories about Daddy?
You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner?
Well, that's how I see it, yeah.
You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny.
Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we?
Look, give it a rest, will ya? I hate all this chummy nonsense. Do you hear? I hate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. If you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, scupper.
What about those wrists? What the hell? I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet.
What?
The blood, Mr. Naruhodo?
You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So it could be blood that spattered from Mr. Windibank when he was shot last night?
beating around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get results much faster than anything else.
Hey, take it easy, Iris.
Don't move, Jenny. I'm going to shoot. Fire!
Hey!
Hold that thought for a sec. Look, fellas, let's put 2 and 2 together about rain stains on the sleeve.
Shut up.
Wait, what the hell?
Oh,
Oh my!
What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in...
the whole coat is covered in blood!
Of course. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now.
Oh, God. And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've already collected perfectly.
Yes. Now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha! Yes, he was a brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I knew it.
What? What are you all on about? A victim? What do you mean?
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed.
Oi! Won't someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half the story.
Hold on a sec.
Purple color, is that the same kind of stuff that turns colors when someone pees in the pool? You could say that. Okay, so
Talk to her, I guess. The truth of the omnibus case.
we can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilden's overcoat.
But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush up a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet. No. If that's what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over Mr. McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough. There's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What the heck is going on here?
Mr. Naruhodo.
That horrible case is solved at last. And I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
1 sec. Wait, does blood splatter like that during a stabbing?
Well, if you pull the knife out, yeah.
Runo, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent?
I believed, or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
A weapon?
A lawyer's weapon.
Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson.
You mean Cosmo-sama?
I don't know if blood splatters like that during a stabbing. That seems a bit far-fetched for me. I don't think McGill... Trust us, Scott, when we say it was, in fact, Magnus McGilded.
You'll have
Trust us. You know what? You'll find out at the end of this episode. Maybe not this particular episode, but by the end of this case, you'll know for sure. But trust us when we say.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, because we've played this game before, so
Yes, we have.
spoilers.
You mean Cosmo-sama? Listen, Ruynoske. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie, which is why we must resort to our primary weapon, an unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have.
Unwavering belief?
Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly.
What's funny, Gina?
Cool. Sounds like in this part of Japan you come from, everyone must be soft.
Huh?
Now come on. What a mess has got you into believing in that bog trotter.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
I mean, I'm sure you have more evidence on that than I realize, but it seems sort of soft. I'm sure it's part of the game for sure. Sometimes the science of blood splatter can stab wound is something I'm not sure people understand.
Okay, I mean, it's true. I'm not saying you're wrong. We'll put some more stuff together and see what we come up with.
Well, at least you learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. As soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one, get hurt by no one.
Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
I'd rather the blood spatter come from somewhere else, like them being crushed by a piano. It's pretty dark, but okay.
How many times will I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants it all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Now forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely.
Well, Miss Naruhodo?
A lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. Okay,
That's dark.
That's more than light than a stabbing, I think. Or maybe I watched too much Looney Tunes. You would never watch too much Looney Tunes. That shit's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? Despite everything that's happened, I trust her. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
Hey, are you off-baked?
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Seriously, Mr. Naruto? Did you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just rip off me tongue. I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina,
Huh?
I do understand why you choose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize.
What do you mean?
The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Hold on a second.
Hey?
It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side.
What you expect me to say to that?
Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully.
Do what you like. You wasting lot of... I don't know what you are. I don't get you.
Well, Gina's taken herself off to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. It turned out all right in the end, I think.
Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is a height of cowardice.
Mrs. Sato!
Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before.
What?
Blimey, you're sharp, eh? Oh my God. Suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about.
If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector.
Rexy!
Oh dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening in on our conversation?
Good grief! Listening in? No. Just got word that there was some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived. That's very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward. Nothing at all.
After hours? Is it that late already?
So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. That's all. Toodaloo. Cheerio. All the best. Bye and bye.
That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship.
Oh, but I wanted to have a chat.
I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressed at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well...
Emergency?
Lord Strongheart?
Nothing! Forget I said anything! Anyway, I'm off!
Alright, Gregsy, if you have to, let's chat soon.
Delighted, champ, can't wait, if you please, my pleasure!
That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Gregsy's so funny. He says such silly things.
Certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. Anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court.
I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mrs. Sato.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later.
And there she goes.
Oh yeah, okay. Iris.
And so our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. 16th of April, 11:13 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy.
Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested. All on the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task?
Well, talk to her.
All right, well, what the heck?
Going back to Japan. It's just 2 months since we arrived in London.
You can go ahead and drive. I don't think Iris is hanging around.
But we managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Sasato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities,
Facets?
and like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. We see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear, and all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruhodo-san,
Suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
it's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much.
Sorry, I've what?
Oh no, it was nothing unimportant.
Tomorrow's departure. Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m.
I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but...
Every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate.
Huh?
You must get as much rest as possible, even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. One final task. What is it?
You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my! I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
Oh, the McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Windibank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Sasato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Sasato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
The gilded case notes have been entered into the court record. What do you mean, failure? What? That doesn't make any sense. Well, it sounds like we're going to need a break soon.
Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Susanoo-san,
I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night.
Wait! There's something I need to say. Whoa!
Susanoo, take down!
Ouch! What was that?
A secret technique of mine. The Susanoo shutdown.
Shutdown?
Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Ugh. Whew. It really hurts. Susanoo-san. Ugh. Passed out. Truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. And I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep.
Sweet dreams, Naruhodo-san.
All right. 17th of April, The Small Hours, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. Yes. Okay.
I think that's
It might
Jones.
be. It's either that's Sholmes or it's Susanoo. I have no idea. Whatever. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place, exactly as we have discussed.
Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes.
On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. My dear madam. What's going on here?
Well,
Huh?
she just wanted to say goodbye, right?
Well,
To be continued.
to be continued indeed. So, folks, we're going to take a really short break, but we will continue our stream. So let me save what we got here, and then we will be right back to continue the adventure of the unspeakable story. So hold tight, kids. We'll be right back. Coming back live in 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Well, I just want to let you know I dropped a like and a share real quick.
Deeply appreciate that package. You can't have enough.
Absolutely.
So,
someone having some PT time?
hey, mind your business, you great bilge peep. Mind your ruddy business. So anyway, okay, but I will admit somebody was doing the pee-pee dance. I'm not gonna say who.
I admit it.
You're supposed to keep it under your hat.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Lord, I apologize for.
He would be. Man, do not make this guy a witness for the prosecution. Please don't. Okay,
I'll
so
try.
we are ready to continue our adventure. Let's go to court. When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last. One that I would remember for the rest of my days. He should have just said rest of his life. 17th of April, 9:32 a.m. The Old Bailey. Defendant's antechamber. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it.
So where's your friend then?
Sorry.
You know, in a fancy dress. Sir Sato, however you say it, I don't know.
Miss Susato had to leave early this
Hold
morning.
on. Check the toilet. That's how you can handle the. That's how you can tell you had PT time. I'll put some of that purple dye in.
Well, there was a strange odor. Jesus Christ.
Continue.
He was already gone by the time I woke up.
You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off.
It's fine. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again. One day.
Even so.
But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have.
Huh?
Good
Morning, you two.
Good morning, you two. How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep?
Well,
Horace, what are you doing here?
What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy?
well.
Just let the cat meow on his own.
Ah, Waggy!
Way to show your support, kitty.
Any man that knows around, what harm can it do?
Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Ginny?
Oh, well, I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad.
Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities.
Let's not go there.
Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move.
Huh? The bad news was a weather report?
So I hope that Susie made a train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port.
Gosh, yes.
Alright then, so what's the good news?
Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it?
I couldn't give a monkey's, really.
Only all good news cancel out the bad.
And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. See?
How do you like that? Well, let them see what they want, see if I care.
I can't because you're covering your face.
Don't worry, Runo Runo will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense.
I will?
And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharge diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo?
Oh, yes. Let's hope so.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it?
It's like she was still here. Today's paper has been entered into the court record. Well, yes, that's all right.
Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still.
What the?
I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement.
I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest. But, thank you, Iris. It's very kind of you.
Oh yeah, Iris.
Yes, Ginny?
Well, I was wondering is all, about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright?
Yes. The operation was a great success. But, Ellie still hasn't come around yet.
Hey?
I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news.
Oh, right.
No Susato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime.
Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then.
Yes. Let's go, Gina. Iris.
Lead the way, Runo.
Lock 'em and load 'em, ladies. It's go time. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that.
Damn right, son.
All right, here we go.
Let's do this. 17th of April, 10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Order! All rise.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Ms. Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready.
The defense is ready. Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord,
remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service?
it was some 5 years ago, my lord.
Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Huh? Really? Yet today you chose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel.
There are two types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those worthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large.
It means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the rebirth 2 months ago.
Yes, I just about managed to work that one out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him.
And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confident tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East. the Nipponese.
What? Did he really just say that?
He means you now, Runo.
I actually managed to work that one out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? The torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people?
Well, there's
Racist. An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors.
Your lordship is too kind.
Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant?
From Lieutenant the British Army here, don't you know? Chops make me were born ready.
Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think.
Everything we stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely everything. And I'm ready for it.
I don't understand. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible, but could I have?
Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Is something wrong, Runo?
Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. Jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know.
So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case.
As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder.
The
victim, Mr. Pop Windibank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene.
Yep.
As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory.
And what's that supposed to tell us?
It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Such report has been entered into the court record.
A report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner that confirms instant death due to a single bullet wound from the back. There are no other signs of trauma.
The crime scene photograph has been entered into the court
A
record.
photograph of the victim found murdered in the storeroom. It shows a single bullet wound in the man's back.
I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him, a windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windibank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet.
Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say.
Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway?
She's one of those filthy traps that live in the slums of the East End.
Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then.
Well, the just waiting for the guilt.
Objection! We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive.
My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case.
Huh?
Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses.
Good gracious.
After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pig purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth.
The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks.
At once, my lord.
Crime scene floor plan has been entered into the court record.
Plan of Windibank's Pawnbrokery, the scene of the crime. It shows the relative positions of the main shop and the rear storeroom.
Windibank's revolver has been entered into the court record.
The gun belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, that Gina was holding when she was found unconscious. There are signs of a single discharge.
Because there's only one possible discharge, too. He only had one bullet. This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo.
I think that's because it has.
Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windibank on 16th of April of this year.
You got shorty, I got tall.
Okay.
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court.
Name's Nash Sokin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skokin. Occupation's, same as him.
Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right. We're what they call...
Right, the streets governed, brothers.
What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in with your lot. God blimey, that's code. Don't you know what we're going through?
It's an older bruv. Lost contact with him, he have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then last night we come across you. Very spirited bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is, Nash, he is. A very spit of him.
So he decided that then we got what we was going to do. We was going to call you.
Big bruv Skulky.
So, come on, leave it out, you two.
Sulky skulking? And that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson?
Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft.
Thieves, are they, these three?
No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot.
2 nights ago, these 2 brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
Stay tuned, folks.
By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence.
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder.
Order! Order!
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future.
With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw.
Happy to. Cause the skulkin's never skulking.
Get out of it! Witness testimony. Here we go. Illegal entry. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the Goff's door was ajar, see?
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
Once we got inside, God blimey lummy! He had a gunshot from the back room.
Went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
He never done nothing, Governor. He never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet.
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. The precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot.
The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found.
I must say it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now. Of course, counsel if you please. Counsel? Yes.
What's the matter, Runo?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is.
Well, find the contradiction. Here we go. Cross-examination time. Illegal entry. Remember the clues you just heard says was walking down Baker Street, small hours, the Gap store was ajar. What do you want to do? Story?
You want to grill him or just let's grill him. Let's have some fun. Hold it! The front door of Windibank's was ajar, you say. What time of night was this?
It must have been about 1. Right, Ringo?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky?
Here it ain't, no. The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo?
I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker?
Leave me alone.
There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place.
And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of a gun trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection! That is pure conjecture.
Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right, that's what happened.
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
Hold it! What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo?
I do, Nash, I do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon.
God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it?
It weren't no whim. I'm dead sure of that.
It weren't, Nash, it weren't. Like we said at the time.
You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it.
It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
They're not very good liars, are they?
Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke what looks just like our bruv.
I said cut it out.
Those chips are getting a chomping today. Well, it is a brother, but it's not who you think it is.
But once we got inside, God blimey lummy, we had a gunshot from the back room.
Hold it! A gunshot, you say? Just the one? Are you sure about that?
Yup, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that.
It was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv?
The firearm used belonged to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Windibank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter.
Right, I remember.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Windibank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded.
That's true. I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
Yes, my lord, we can.
And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused.
Wonderful. Now I think that might be where the lie is. But I mean, let's see. Can we present something though?
Well,
I don't know. Redemption ticket. Never mind.
you can do a story if you want your accused.
Yeah.
Let's see what's what.
The door was locked from the inside.
We never done nothing, Governor. Never took nothing. Just left it after that. Nice and quiet.
Hold it! You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
Well, it was Bedlam soon as, wasn't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes at me Lucy lockets.
So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left. Nice and quietly, you say.
It's what, Governor? Enough we ain't more than violence. These loving nibblers we are, not bludgers.
We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes at me Lucy lockets.
So you'd clearly like us to believe,
Right? Come again.
as you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
And saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Yeah! Blimey, Governor!
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway?
It was.
Why the bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes.
They shot the great Mr. Sholmes?
I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to hospital.
The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. And the court will hold this weapon as evidence. Skulkin Brothers' gun has been entered into the court record.
Firearm found in the possession of the Skulkin brothers upon their arrest. There are signs that a single round was fired.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend,
Yes?
here's to you successfully presenting the evidence.
Huh?
For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder, but the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Objection! Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there!
Objection!
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not.
Huh?
If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibank that night. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night? Take that! The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains.
Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you.
Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein. Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Which sample shows the men fired shot in the pawnbrokery? Nope, not them. It's not this guy.
It's this.
It's almost this one. This one. What is that? What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Order? How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks?
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What?
But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Take it easy there, Governor. You can't let us in the soup.
We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him so, okay? Set the bloke straight.
He have not died.
So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes.
It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact.
To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks?
As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim.
Ah!
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all.
So that's it.
That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget, attempted murder.
Quick, a card along, eh, fellas?
We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It would seem the man who patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly.
Where's he going with this?
Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look.
He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption.
As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed.
The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question.
8 p.m., 8:30 p.m.,
9 p.m., 9:30 p.m.
As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite desultory fashion.
Mr. Judge.
Rather prodigal, I feel.
In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here.
You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals.
One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit of fried tuck, eh, bruv?
Lady Luck loves a skulking. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Right? It must have been just after one. Right, bruv?
Must have been, Ash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone one.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence.
Good Lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! And yeah, she's holding the gun.
What the? As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom.
Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. Photograph of Gina has been entered into the court record.
Photograph taken automatically by the red-handed quarter showing the scene a short time before the murder took place.
Oh boy.
I don't believe it! Judy!
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windibank.
I say, my lord. Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took Bally Bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand, 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, metal can never outshine the exposed chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, see? The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading a small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all, and all for one.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand?
Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Garrett Squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, man, on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too.
I think you'll find the truth as clear as day now. I can reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter.
Take it away.
Announce your considered verdicts to the court. Take it away, boys.
Guilty.
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 What?
No.
Not again. Gosh.
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Judy didn't shoot him!
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well, the court grants permission.
So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising.
We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Lock and load, boys and girls.
I love the fact they get to play Mr. Garrett again. It's hilarious.
I love it too.
The jurors' contentions. The evidence clearly points to against this young pickpocketing.
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at a photograph of stereo, the truth will just pop out.
If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Left what?
My left what? Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop.
In motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
Circumstance of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively.
The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accuser's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses.
Not to mention this print. Taken from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That guy's on the verge of pulling the bally trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear. These cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. Which means there's more to this situation that we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. At once, my lord.
Let's do it. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal.
All the evidence clearly points finger of guilt to this young pickpocketing. Hold it! Hold it! You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garrett, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this. Huh? Oh, that lawyer chap. Oh, there's a turn up for the books. Yes, rather turbulent time for me back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. Huh. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. Cast of the Garrett house was the talk of the town after that business. I just moved out, and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies. Oh. I haven't had hot breaking news journey yet. Bad enough the old goat's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot. Not for us, that's for dashed certain. I suppose not. Of course. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. Obviously. But honestly, I really wish he'd pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2. Why is this?
As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
Hold it! Polishing the bench, I see. Again?
The maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pick-pursers, and crossmen. Scum of the earth.
A little harsh, perhaps.
Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rance magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Mr. Sholmes? A maid?
It's really quite unforgivable. Got a scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant.
A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned.
Well, just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway.
Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. You should swing for shooting the great detective.
I think you'll find if you look at that photograph in the stereo, the truth will just pop out. Hold it! Hold it! What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo? Sorry, what? Don't you know? You look at photographic print normally. It looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously. Objection! But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. Saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Ooh, how'd you know? That's called a lucky guess. Never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary. It's captivating. It's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find a stereoscope is here to stay. Giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only you'd give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you.
If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
Hold it. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
So sorry. As you could probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That totally passed me by.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no.
Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
So, what is it that you think you've left behind?
Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing went in through the abdomen. But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly. Surely not, to say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly?
No, of course I couldn't.
So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop. Hold it. Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take not more than a month to complete the journey.
Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so you can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You're well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle.
Wait a minute, I think I see a contradiction.
I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Excuse me. Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's latest remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare ya. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be. Yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Absolutely. I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you just not use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal even clues you never even noticed before. What?
Have you got any, Runo? Any prints we can look at with a stereoscope?
Absolutely.
None spring to mind.
Are you sure?
Yet. Ugh. No, I don't think so. None spring to mind anyway.
Well, if you find any, we should definitely try it.
I don't think we're just going to find prints of the crime scene lying around, you know. But I suppose if we somehow find ourselves with some, it would be worth the go.
In motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
Hold it! Please tell me you're not violent Bolshevik, the Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary?
Da, I believe there is such a rumor.
It's just a rumor?
As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal.
Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out.
People call me revolutionary, murderer, or autocrat.
And which glove fits?
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Right. That didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts.
To be treated like vicious criminal all the time. It was very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look.
The Skulkin brothers?
Maybe they went inside Pawnbroker's shop, but they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say.
The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris.
What is it, Runo?
The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they?
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary?
I wish I knew.
If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over.
But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone.
Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. It's okay. So we're pitting juror number 2 against juror number 6. Objection! Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
Good Lord. Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement contradictory.
Contradict. C-O-N.
Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick. I have mouse.
As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver.
Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand.
Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear.
Abdomen, A-B-D.
Sir?
Sorry. My English is still learning.
You are telling the court you didn't hear.
Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word. Abdomen. Part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker.
Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before that we never done nothing, but the truth is, they shot detective. Duh. This is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like criminal.
Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced.
This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found. So,
Enough! I trust no one now.
it's not the mouse's fault though, sir.
I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid there won't be
Yes, it is, Runo. Easily.
Sorry.
With the print from Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Ah,
If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Curry, Mr. Prosecutor.
Tut tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
okay. Now let's see if anything was missing. That light bulb was probably broken.
So this was taken after Hurley was shot then, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
Nothing has been taken.
That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. Well, I can tell that there's a broken lantern.
So the brothers who look like criminals stole only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing.
It would seem so, yes.
Good.
No, not good.
You were right. I did not understood situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. There's one down.
Okay.
Yay! Well done, Runo. The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we might just turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Post-shooting photograph has been entered into the court record.
Photograph taken automatically by a red-handed recorder showing the scene after the murder had taken place.
Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. We certainly can. All right, hang on one second
In
here.
lake of lies are many dead fish. We must find truth. Therefore, I say not guilty verdict.
I'll just see. Crap, hang on.
Forgive our discourtesy. Oh, here's that music.
go.
Here's that music to enjoy. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I'll tell you what. We know exactly what we must do.
Hold it!
Hold it. What do you mean? Look at the photograph. What? Don't you know? Look at the photograph normally. Objection! There's no indication the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is you look at the same print. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Oh, how'd you know? It's called a lucky guess. Never gets old. It's extraordinary. Item of nerdity. Of course. You mean if second on his case, I might agree with you.
Nothing there. Nothing there. Should think of conscious by now.
So maybe it's this.
Maybe I pit number 5 against number 3? Let's just do this.
Hold it!
Hold it! Sorry, radio transmission. Aid from the Far East. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All this stuff.
We now have the electric telegrams, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean bed, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You're well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. Just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to 4 corners of globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmospheric electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. People say inventions like the stereoscope at the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Excuse me. Journal number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about journal number 5's last remark?
Oh, I know what you're doing.
As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do ya? Absolutely. I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example.
Yep.
You had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope. Could reveal hidden clues you'd never even noticed before. What?
Well, have you got any, Runo? Any particular look out with the stereoscope?
Absolutely. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. So this is the first one, right? Photograph of Gina.
Yep.
Take that!
Take that! Alright then, juror number 3? Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then. I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
This print right
This
here.
one right here.
Get him.
Take that. Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windibank on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday.
Yes, you did. Remember?
And the left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly.
It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important.
So what happens if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? Oh no, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not with seeing the same 3-dimensionally anyway.
Oh! Of course! Now I see!
Ah, I think the young girl has discovered the secret.
I have!
Alright. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera, Runo. Go on.
Alright.
Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them?
Well, can you?
Well, obviously the lamp's broken. Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first, and no people in the second.
Well, yes, you can see that straight away. But now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
All right, I'll give it a go. So,
I'll try. I really tried.
so to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. I am.
Hey, that look to the left and then look to the right. See that hole?
Yeah, the peephole wasn't there. Wait.
Well, did you manage to see it properly, Runo?
Yes, I saw it. Ah! What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you.
Click out story.
Yes, that's it, you see? That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power?
Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, huh?
I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's a slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions.
Yes, there must have been.
That means they must have rummaged through something.
Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's that, fella? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master.
What? Me? I haven't the first idea.
You know, Runo, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means...
That means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers! Someone tampered? New information. Stop. Not mention in testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in the summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom?
Are you suggesting you might know?
Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. One of the Skulkin brothers, really. It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers.
Wait. This does not agree with what brother said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to poke dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy Locket is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Now hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony.
But the accused is a pig purse. Common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here?
Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves?
Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. That's two.
Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen the extraordinary potential firsthand. Not guilty.
Nice and even now.
Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop. Not guilty.
Yay! You win!
For now.
Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus, and I order this trial to continue.
Yay! Well done. Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Bruno. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial will be unusual, surely. But all right. Stereoscope has been entered into the court record.
Full of device, well, whatever.
Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them.
I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord.
I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. You know, I think this might be a terrific opportunity to cut the strings, as it were.
You're damn right, son. That's a good time to stop.
So, folks, we will be back for part 2 of this trial. There's probably more parts coming. It's going to be a very long slog, but we hope you'll be there for the long and short of it. So, so tune in next week. We are planning on Wednesday night once again at 8 o'clock or maybe even sooner. But for the package, Andrew Steele, I am the Cannonball, Alex Steele. And
We are the Steele Brothers.
we are for real. Top guys out. Ciao.